Hey guys, it's Matt Light, Pittsburgh Magazine's 2014 and 2015 winner, Best Comedian, and Cancer Survivor. Come check me out Friday, April 8th for a night of stories, laughter, Barjitsu beer pong, and prizes that will be sure to make this a night to remember. I'll be performing with some of the best comedians in the Steel City. Portions of the proceeds benefit the Testicular Cancer Awareness Foundation. Special thank you to our event partners, Effin' Vodka, Ultra Premium Vodka, Pittsburgh Improv, Pittsburgh's premier comedy club, Sorgatron Media, podcast, video production, and creative media, Pittsburgh Podcast Network for Pittsburgh by Pittsburgh, River's Edge Radio Network, Pittsburgh's voice for local music. Comedians for Cancer, Friday, April 8th at Dave & Buster's in the Waterfront, the only place to eat, drink, play, watch sports, and laugh all under one roof. Get those tickets, folks. Go to barjitsu.com or showclicks.com and search Comedians for Cancer.
Welcome back to the Millville Studios for another River Talk Extra here at the River's Edge Radio Network at riversedgepgh.com and on the TuneIn Radio app. We are thrilled to have with us here today Cabaret Runaway, who are performing at Heavy Metal Monessen Saturday, April 23rd, and the event starts at 1 p.m. and it ends 8-ish, maybe?
It's later.
Unless it gets longer.
Later.
Yeah.
Later.
So welcome, guys, and I have to say, this is the last show on the River's Edge Radio Network before Easter Sunday. Do you guys feel righteous?
We feel very
righteous. I feel blessed, actually.
We're very
right?
So
it's a very, very blessed show here today.
Absolutely.
On River Talk. So, I'm excited to see you guys at Heavy Metal Monessen. I was fortunate enough to see you guys one time. That was the time I met you guys, and then you ran out of state. So.
Sounds about right.
True. That was at the Altar Bar.
Yes,
yeah.
I saw you guys at the Altar Bar.
Yeah.
So it was very, very cool. So tell us a little bit about the tour you guys went on. You guys did kind of travel a little bit. Where did you go? What did you do?
We went on tour with a band called Alice Santa, and I wrestled a bear one, so those were the headliners. We had another band called Artifacts Pareo, and the Funeral Portrait were on it as well. And it was probably northeastern. Well, I wouldn't say just northeastern. It was just general eastern to like slightly into the Midwest, you know. Mm-hmm. So we got out probably as far western as Oklahoma and such
nice.
like that. But it was an awesome experience. It was our first tour, so it was a really awesome learning experience. And
hell yeah!
It was very humbling, and you know, it was just a lot to take in, but it was just one of those things that we wish we could be doing full time if it was possible. You know?
Is it hard when you're on tour because you're reaching people who've never heard you before a lot of times versus, Pittsburgh, your crowd will follow you from venue to venue and hear what you're doing. Is it more difficult when you're...
Actually, it was kind of surprising. We had people that knew the lyrics and like, I don't even
really?
know who you are. I'm happy you're here. I'm glad you're here and loving it. You know the lyrics?
Playing in Pittsburgh is harder than playing some of the places that we played when we were on tour.
Okay.
And that's like
really
beyond a true statement.
Why is that?
Because the people in Pittsburgh, I'm going to generalize when I say this, but like this is all just taken with a grain of salt. In different music scenes, which every area is different, people react to music in a different way. So, for instance, in Oklahoma, where they're not used to getting to see their favorite bands and a lot of bands that tour through there, those people and those kids, they absolutely just love the experience. Like we played in the shittiest venue, like it was looked like a garage, you know.
Yeah.
But
Say it how it is.
every single person there like knew who we were. They knew our music, and they just, the second we started playing, they were just absolutely absorbed. But in generally playing in an area such as the big city of Pittsburgh, people are more, I guess, they're more concerned about how they look and like how people perceive them at the concert versus how much fun they have while they're there. So people like will sit there and have their arms crossed and stand in the back of the venue because they don't want like the random girl that they invited to the show with them to think they're too into the song or something like that. You know, it's just our environment here doesn't react as openly to music as they would in places like I can't. Where else is it better? Like
Corpus Christi, right
Corpus
there.
Christi, like
Perfect
right near the
example.
Mexican border, like they were crazy. You
Uh-huh.
know?
Yeah.
Like Oklahoma, even if you get out to Ohio, they have a better reaction to music out there and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not dissing Pittsburgh one bit.
Do you think it's because we're oversaturated here? I mean, we have
A lot of bands.
huge festivals now with hundreds of bands performing. It's not, I don't remember growing up there being that much local music that's so prevalent and so well framed and well showcased in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I agree. I think like kind of what Dinger was saying a little bit is like in the smaller cities, like it actually has I think a bigger impact.
Oh hell yeah.
At times, and Pittsburgh is kind of, I feel like the music scene is changing, which is a good thing, but it
Yeah,
also is
sure.
more difficult to kind of cut through that, that mix. And also when you play locally too, like when you're from that area, it's kind of watching how many times you play in that area. You don't want to keep, I don't know, overkill that market as well. So, we have definitely, I think, fans that come out when we play here, but like Dinger said, it's also a little bit of a challenge sometimes locally to play when we go to Oklahoma, and it's a whole different experience, which is random, but
Yeah.
You get the different
It's just-
experience, like different locations have different like music scenes. Like Pittsburgh especially has like a huge pop punk scene.
Yes.
At least in the past couple years it has. And like some places that we went to go play, you see some like extreme metal fans are like, we want to fucking scream, we want to do this, we want to do that. And it's
Yeah.
cool, but like it's a whole different change in environment, and you want to get that. You want to have that impact where it's like, this is awesome, and you kind of feel like, well, what's going on in the rest of the world, even the rest of the country? Like, where else is like having this like, who likes our music for what the area is considering?
I think a good example of that, like, also says what Kyle was saying, was when we were in Tampa, Florida, not Tampa Bay. There were these two guys that looked like the most metal guys I had ever seen, and they were like there for the Alisana VIP package, which is generally something that goes out to like a younger basis, generally more oriented towards females. But these guys, they wanted like to meet the band and like to sign things, and those guys were like the most, I guess, they were so into our music, so into everything going on. But these guys looked like they looked terrifying.
Yeah,
They had like tons of tattoos. They were like 32 years old.
That could be so misleading though, because it always seems like the big Harley guys who you think are like gonna kill you, they end up like being like the nicest people. And
like they love Care Bear. And,
Exactly.
Yeah, but you don't think that they would listen to like emo-esque music. You know?
Sure,
And that's
yeah.
like, I guess, kind of one of the subgenres that people would probably say we fell into. And Alisana was the headline of the tour, and they definitely fall into that category, probably.
All right, I'm gonna take a tangent right quick. What do you define as emo music?
Is emo music?
Yeah. Let's go around the table.
I don't
You
know.
start.
I don't know. I mean,
three main characteristics that defined emo music.
three main characteristics. I don't.
Dark.
You
Dark.
can't
It's
put
a
every
loaded- it's a
interviewer
loaded
on the
qu-
spot.
it's a loaded
Wow,
question.
yeah,
He's putting us on the spot.
Yeah, you just turned the table.
Can I get
I'll
the mic
go.
or like?
you got the mic right here. I guess for. What would you say? Good.
For me, okay, so I have this conversation with a lot of people, different realms. So they have these. It's got to have one first and foremost. It has to have emotional lyrics.
Okay.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
It's a surpriser.
Oh,
Yeah.
imagine that. So you have this. It's almost like this whiny voice at some level where you have to have these choruses that go. But like at the same time, it's all subjective. It's all subjective. Because like I classify us as emo, and I don't think we
Please
have
say
one.
3 is organic instruments, because like emo music is not electronic. Like that's
Okay.
like
No.
that's what I don't think.
Well, I'm gonna bring up 3 as a whole another tangent, right? So 3 is like this lifestyle that they have swoop in the hair.
Yeah.
They have this emo lifestyle. I gotta say it. And they talk about like cutting wrists. Like Hawthorne Heights was the epitome.
Yeah, they're the epitome of emo. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
yes.
feel
They
I feel
have
that
the
way.
lyrics "Cut my wrists in black my eyes" and they're single, and that's like pretty much like the most
The
cliche
threshold
emo
that
statement.
nothing past that will ever be any more emo.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
No, I think that's true. Yeah, I mean, don't know. I think sometimes it's a little much for the average person to get in. You know what I mean? Like it's the way some of these bands take it. It's,
Yeah.
You got to be.
Everybody has their own perspective on what emo music actually is, too.
Yes,
You know.
true.
It sounds dramatic.
I think
Sounds
that
really
I think when the term
Yeah.
is taken more loosely, like it's like a lot more approachable music than people really think it
That's
is.
true.
But when
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
generally hear emo music that don't listen to like rock music generally, it seems kind of unappealing.
Sometimes, yeah.
Right.
It depends on the listener for first and foremost, once
Yeah.
again. But I feel like some people, like, as soon as they hear the term emo,
They're
they're like,
turned
oh,
off.
I don't want to even listen to the music, you know?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And some people are like, emo music, I'm about that, you know?
Mhm.
They want it, they like they want to get into that. They that's what their heart's about. They're about that, like, emotion,
Yeah.
that feeling. And, you know, when you have like some sort of way to relate to a certain emotion and you can capture that in a song, that's like a great way to kind of like, I won't even say like cope with it or like experience it or feel for it, but that's definitely there.
I
That's
think
why we like music.
Yeah.
That's why we
Yeah.
like all music.
I
you
think
know?
a big variable
Exactly.
about emo music, providing on Kyle's tangent,
Mhm.
is that like the people that write emo music and the people that are in those bands aren't generally like huge rock stars, like Fall Out Boy excluding, because they could probably definitely be classified as emo. But
Oh,
you know,
yep.
we all and they all live very normal lifestyles, even though they're bands and stuff. You know, there's not a lot of money involved, and generally, like when you're relating to an audience or an artist and stuff, it's easier to relate to someone who, I guess, like still deals with like the general life problems. You know,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
instead of living like a miraculous like rock star dream, it's not easily to like relate to those kind of people and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Where like emo music is generally comes from like kids who wrote songs in their basements that ended up like getting recognized. Now they get to play those songs they wrote in their basement when they were dealing with their ex-girlfriend to an audience of
Sure.
a lot of people. You
That's
know?
why Spider-Man's popular and more popular than Superman now. You know, he deals
Whoa,
with
that's debatable.
he deals, you know, but seriously though, he's got like life issues. Superman,
He's
you
more
know, can't be
relatable.
beat.
Yeah,
Sure.
he's a little bit emo, you know?
That's right. That's
Spider-Man
right.
3.
He is.
Yeah.
He is technically.
He does wear eyeliner in that one movie.
That's
Tobey
true.
Maguire.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was horrible.
He
Yeah,
went
that
definitely.
was-
Spider-Man went emo for a moment.
He did. That was
Spider-Man 3.
That was the one
Catch
with
it.
Venom terribly portrayed. So
Yes, that was Superman movies or superhero movies have had such ups and downs.
Mhm.
It's there's
Dark
been some-
Knight, number one, always.
Dark Knight's
Knight.
good. I like Dark Knight.
I'll talk about Batman for days.
Batman
but
Begins
you gotta
is
give me here
pretty
another
good, but
another
no one
time
even
to talk
really
about
knows
Batman.
that one.
Yeah. Well, we've got Cabaret Runaway here with Andrew, Kyle, Shane, and Christian on River Talk on the River's Edge Radio Network. Don't forget, April 8th at Dave & Buster's, we have Comedians for Cancer, where Matt Light, wow, who is a cancer survivor himself, and many other comedians will be performing to raise money for cancer. And we have Heavy Metal Monessen April 23rd, where you guys are going to be performing. And you guys have recently been signed to a label. I want to talk a little bit about that. How
Sure.
has that been a game changer for you? Has it given you more opportunities?
Definitely.
How did that work? Did they look for you guys, or did you approach them?
They found us.
They found you.
it's a
That's
very
cool.
long process.
Mhm.
It took like over like a year and a half probably for it to actually be solidified. You know, from the first time that the owner of the record label found our music and reached out to us. But you know, it did end up happening. You know, they wanted to see us play live, and it was a long experience. Yeah,
But overall, it's a great opportunity. You know, everybody talks about like stipulations when you sign contracts, this and that. What a label does is they provide a lot of opportunities for you. Period. And like going on tour, we wouldn't be able to do that without having a label backing us to say like we got great bands that great musicians that want to go play music across the country, at least half the country, and they want to go do this with you. You how do you get that recognition? How do you get like people on board with that without a label? You don't.
well, you can. It's just a lot more.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's
Right.
a lot
It's like
more stress.
teeth
You gotta.
pulling.
Yep.
Yeah.
You gotta do it all yourself, and like
Yeah.
having someone come down to you and say like, "We want you to be a part of this." It's uplifting.
Do they handle a lot of your business end operations now when you're on a label, or do you still have to deal with most of that?
I think you'd be surprised at to how much of it is still like based on like we
Us,
do what
yeah.
we want to do kind of
Yeah.
thing. But when it comes down to the terms of like our album sales and things like that, like we would generally have to ask a question to even see what like the numbers are like and such like that and things
Yeah.
like that. you
Well,
know.
I
They
feel
help us out, but it's just like they want to provide this opportunity that like no one else can get, and we can they can give that to us, but we as a band have to push that, you know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But I feel like that might relieve some of the pressure to allow you to be more creative in your songwriting and focus more on that end of the business. Is that accurate?
Surprisingly, it's actually
No.
more pressure.
It's more pressure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think being signed to a label does not give you creative inspiration, so to speak.
Well, my thought was, I thought if they were handling more of the business and like a lot of that stuff, it might free up some of your time. Or
Well,
does that
It's more like
It
we have
is-
the foot in the door in more places that we wouldn't have otherwise,
Okay.
but they expect us to go even harder.
We
to
still
do more
manage
things
our
and
business
work
on
even
our own,
harder,
yeah.
I see. Okay.
you know?
The expectations are now higher, essentially,
Yes. Yeah.
and you're still in charge of, your bands, and
And
they're there to
everything
help
else.
support you, but
Exactly.
the expectations are set much higher, you know.
You know,
So it's
yeah.
not easier
So-
at all.
I mean, and when you think about it, if
It
you're,
is at some level
it,
because
it is at to
they
a
provide you
degree.
opportunities, but you want to be better than what
Sure,
you currently
yeah,
are.
yeah.
You know, they're
Right.
taking you to the next level, and you got to push yourself to be the next level.
You get even past that tier. It's all about a tiering thing. Like, I feel like before you get signed, like you're always trying to find some kind of recognition and someone to discover you to get
Sure.
you to that next tiering of what you do. But when you get to the next one, it's not easier. It's actually much harder.
So what is the next step once you get signed?
Well, the
Doing it, just doing it.
the doing it is generally the goal that we all share is to be able to play music and record music full time, and that's always been the general, I guess, goal for this band, like entirely from the get go. But signing to a record deal doesn't just do that. Like there's still like so many like assets and like things that need to be tied and things that need to be obtained and places that we need to go and people we need to talk to actually make it so that we can make the dream into a self-sustainable reality.
Everyone here still works a full-time job. That's
Yeah, we're all
Okay.
you know what I mean. So that's basically
That's a
how it is.
bitch.
Yeah, it is. It
If
is.
we
broke
didn't
the
have to
seal.
do that, we would probably get to do a lot of really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
But it's
Put
a
it that way.
process, it takes
Sure.
time.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you look at the music industry right now, it's just like, if you look at back when it was like when like bands like Steely Dan can it's smooth, so smooth music.
Choice, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Great music, but like these guys were like, oh, they're playing in a garage, They got like an established kind of audience, and basically DJs back then said like, oh, people like this music, they want to play more of it. Now it's a broad spectrum of anybody can do it. Everybody wants to do it. Anybody can record music. Anybody could do it at their house. So how do you break the barrier to be the next level?
And how do you
So to
make it
speak.
lucrative?
Yep. Very
That's-
much
that's
indeed.
That's the real question. You
Yep.
know, like and even making it a little bit lucrative is like enough to kind of step up. But like in the end, like there's not a lot of money in the industry. So by the time you
no.
can actually become like a full-time musician that writes and creates original music, you're beyond well recognized.
Mhm.
If
Sure.
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in working the full-time job, trying to do all of this, that's challenging. I understand how that is.
Especially when
It's
touring's
another
involved.
It's another
Yeah,
full-time
definitely.
job. We
Yeah.
get off
Oh,
of
yeah.
work and then we go to the practice space and try to reach that next tier.
Exactly.
And that's all we do.
Exactly. No, I understand how that is. I'm here tonight. I was here this morning. I'll be here tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And then
You definitely get it then. Yeah.
yeah, so I get it. Yeah. So, but no, it's crazy. So I want to talk about Heavy Metal Monessen 3 and your guys' involvement in that. I'm assuming Zach Fell reached out to you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah.
We know Zach.
So, what's that?
We know Zach.
Yeah, Zach, he was in
Definitely.
here. I've been friends with him before Heavy Metal Monessen started, so I've got
I think we have too.
yeah, so I've known him for a while, and we were involved a little bit last year. This year, we're really getting involved, and we're doing interviews every week for the event. But I'm excited. And did you guys jump on the opportunity? Why is this your first year if you knew Zach all this time?
Oh my god, that's a terrible
It's
question.
funny.
You answer this guy.
I remember. I think Matt. I can't. I'm gonna butcher his last
Shaw-
name.
Shaw
Yeah,
or
started
Shaw, yeah.
this whole like thing,
You
right?
started?
We
I
started-
think Zach started it.
Zach started Heavy Metal Monessen.
Okay, what am I thinking
Matt
of then?
did Raise Your Voice.
Okay,
Yeah,
I think
yes.
I'm
But
intertwining the
we've
two.
equally been terrible at attending all of them. for the
Yeah.
past
Oh,
couple
okay,
years.
yes.
We got offered and we're like, we want to do it, but like certain stipulations. Everybody has
Sure.
a personal life,
Oh yeah.
things conflict, and now this year we had the opportunity to do it, and we were like, absolutely, we want to do it.
Yeah, you guys kind of picked a good year to jump on.
Mhm.
They're expanding now to 2 stages. This is the first year that they will have 2 different stages at the event, and it seems to be getting bigger. Last year, I was really impressed with how organized Heavy Metal Monessen was. So,
Oh, definitely.
How was the
and
turnout?
This year, It wasn't bad. It was cool because it was. It's in this park.
Intimate.
Have you seen the park?
No.
No, you've never seen the park. Okay, the park is surrounded by trees. It's like Mr. Rogers meets metal, and
I'm already
it's-
interested.
Yeah, it's really cool because you've got like it looks like I was talking with Talion, or I will be talking with Talion about this actually because your interview is gonna drop before theirs, but I will talk with them about the park and how it almost looks like you stumble upon a Boy Scout amphitheater or like or some sort of weird, it's in.
I want to get badges. Is all I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, it's surrounded by trees. So then you've got like this really interesting setting for a rock, for a metal festival to begin with, and then you've got people moshing in front of like there's like flowers coming out of the ground.
Was there a lot of
Like,
moshing
around
last year?
There was a little bit.
Okay.
Not a lot, but a little bit. But
Funny story about that Italian band. We played in a church with them one time.
really,
Remember that? Remember the one time we played in that church and we did those 4 shows in a row? I think. Like,
Oh yeah,
2
yeah.
years ago.
Yeah,
We
I go
played
to
in a
I go
church,
I go
like-
there sometimes for various reasons.
yeah, that's
What?
cool.
Okay.
I'm a big churchgoer sometimes.
No, it was very weird. Our song,
Don't ask.
We have some of our songs a little bit vulgar. I mean, it's pretty weird to sing them on like an altar. So
Yeah, no, that would be
that's
weird.
kind of wrong. So
Well,
whatever.
yeah, if they invited you there, then,
Yeah, that's true.
it's-
Yeah, I guess they did.
We're happy to be there.
Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot of churches turning into music venues, so I guess it fits, right?
yeah, I guess so.
One thing that is cool about those venues is the acoustics are so good in these old buildings. The Benedum, for example, I was at an event where
Well, it's
you
built
could-
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
built for it, but somebody can just talk and you can hear them in the back of the, because these old churches, these old theaters, they were built for a time when we didn't have all the sound equipment that we have now, and
Well, churches like were meant for like honestly, like, first and foremost, once again, a place of worship. But like a place like a Benedum, that's like meant for like almost like an opera kind of like
Sure.
environment.
I have seen an opera.
So you see it, you see
Yes.
the both levels of it. Sometimes
Fun
you get great
fact.
acoustics, sometimes you don't.
sure,
But-
yeah.
Especially when you're like a band like us, and you get some feedback sometimes. Sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. The newer buildings, they kind of manufacture it's not, the buildings aren't necessarily today built for performances, I feel like. Even the new ones, it's like they have to put in props to
Well,
create
yeah.
the sound that they
You
want.
got to put in a PA, arrays, like monitors, like the whole shebang. It's not meant for like like.
But even
like a
the
rock
layout
and
of the
roll band,
building,
so to
they've got
speak.
to, you know what I mean? They've got to put in props to manipulate
To
the
make it
sound.
look like a
Yeah,
stage
even
or something,
yeah.
too.
There's so many aspects that go into it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. So, what do you guys expect from Heavy Metal Monessen? What are your expectations for the event?
Big turnout.
I want to see broken
Big turnout.
noses, heavy music,
I broke mine.
lots of money, cigars,
Yeah.
waffles,
Cigars
the whole
and beer.
shebang.
Cigars, waffles.
Funnel cakes.
Funnel
cakes,
funnel
yeah.
I'd like to see
I-
some
I like a
funnel cakes.
carnival
If I get a-
environment.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a carnival
that'd be
environment
sweet.
would be really sick.
If I get some clowns in there,
No.
You like clowns.
No.
okay, no clowns,
No
but
clowns.
balloons. I want to get the
Really?
balloons for sure.
Balloons would be fun. I know this year they did talk. Actually, we were talking about the art studio outside of our particular part of Millville Studios and the interesting artwork that's out there. I do believe they are going to be trying to bring some artwork down to Heavy Metal Monessen 3
Cool.
from the students at Cal U, which I think would be kind of
That's
that's
great.
really cool.
Yeah.
a little twist on what they've done over the last couple of years. So I think that's kind of exciting.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good school.
Yeah, it is. And speaking of Cal, you have a shirt on here tonight. They're from Cal.
You betcha.
They are on our network. So a fan of Here Tonight.
He sings on our album. Did you know that?
Wait, what? Who sings?
Shane. the singer
Oh,
of Here
really?
Tonight.
Shane does. Oh,
Yes.
that's cool.
He sings
Nice.
on our song Disfigured
You know, I saw
Constellations.
him play with you guys at the
Yeah,
Altar Bar
that's-
when you were there.
That's exactly where he
So-
sings on our album in that
Okay,
song. Yeah.
nice, very cool.
That was
Yeah, no, good
way
guy.
before that band ever existed, wasn't it? Yeah.
A little
Really?
bit, a little
Yeah,
bit.
For about a year.
They do great music right now, and I'm happy they do.
Yeah,
I'm
doing
I'm
good
very
stuff.
glad that Shane, not this Shane right here that I'm touching. I'm touching Shane, but not this Shane, but another Shane. From Here
Yes.
Tonight. He does sing on it, and it sounds great. Yeah, I'm very glad.
Yeah, we thought he was like super
No
good.
offense. I
way
mean, you
before
have a great
his band
voice,
existed.
too.
We were always kind of
I have a
waiting for him to
horrible
show
voice.
up.
What's that?
Don't.
We thought Shane was
Don't be
super
modest.
good before. He was in like Here Tonight, so we were always kind of like talking to him about starting a band, and it's just really cool to see that he actually did it. And it's even cooler when their band's actually like incredibly tight. So like
Yeah, it's doing great. The band's doing well. I was there for their last CD release party at the Hard Rock, which was pretty sweet. So
I was there.
were you
Did I
there?
see you
Okay. I don't think so. I don't know if we knew each other then.
That's a good point.
Wait, was
Because-
I there too?
No,
I think I
I
was.
went with Mbakwe.
Were they selling tapes?
No, well maybe.
They
I was
probably
there.
were selling CDs.
No, they
Oh,
sold
no.
tapes actually. No, we
Did
went to
they?
their house before they did that.
I was there when they were selling tapes, and I was like, wow. I went with Augie actually, believe it or not,
Interesting.
at the Hard Rock, and they sounded great
Maybe,
too.
maybe it was
Yeah,
the
okay,
same
so
thing.
that's where they played for their release, was at the
Yeah.
Hard Rock, so
Mhm.
probably. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we were all in the same spot at the same time. And we
Not knowing anybody's
didn't
there.
even know- yeah,
It's
didn't
really
even
weird
know
for me
each
and
other,
Kyle
so.
to not know that each other are there because we're like, friends and in the same band and stuff. So,
It was one of those moments. It was like a fling, whatever.
Yeah, no, well,
It was one time.
Just tells you how big the turnout was that, we're all there and didn't even see each other. So.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
the
but it
Hard
was,
Rock.
it was good stuff. So what do you guys have coming up for Runaway Cabaret for the future? Obviously, you have Heavy Metal Monessen that's coming up. But what else do you guys have planned?
Oh, we have a new music video.
Okay.
So that should be really cool. A lot of the other things are kind of like we're kind of finding them out like right now as it's happening. But other than the new music video, we're going to be doing a lot more shows, and hopefully there's a tour in the future that we can announce. But that's all TBD. So yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool. It's
Yeah.
exciting. So
Yeah, we're just like kids opening presents on Christmas morning all the time, finding this stuff out. So, exactly.
no, it is
Sometimes you get coal. Sometimes you get like music. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's exciting. Yeah, I love what you guys are doing. I love the direction you're going. It's so great to see a local band that's really making it and taking
Yeah.
that next step and going forward, because there's a lot of really great talent in this city, and it's great to see somebody kind of being realized and going in that direction. So
Yeah, we're trying really hard to hopefully be able to get the new album out in 2016 or recorded in 2016. I feel like getting it out might be a stretch, but hopefully by the end of the year we'll have recorded the full-length Cabaret Runaway album. That's been a long time due. So yeah, we want to play new music. We've been sitting on the same songs for a long time. So
I feel like people are gonna go nuts over it because people heard snippets, this and that, and it's just only a couple of songs out of what we're getting at.
for
And
demos,
yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting.
yeah, we have a pretty interesting vision for the next album. So hopefully that gets to become a reality sooner than later. But there's a lot of different variables involved with the recording process and all of that stuff too, and the release schedule. So that's kind of far off in the future, even though it's kind of something we would do right now if we could.
no, yeah, I understand completely. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
Doing this
never-ending
stuff,
marathon. You just gotta keep running.
Exactly. It's
If you stop,
exhausting, but-
if you stop, you're screwed.
Exactly. Yeah, no, you just gotta keep going. Otherwise, you just literally fall asleep. I mean, right? There's sometimes why not just keep going. Actually, there's times I've actually laid down on this floor and just kind of like a 10-minute, close my eyes so I could keep going.
Looks pretty
good.
comfy.
So,
As long as you
it's
get
not.
those REMs, and you're good to go.
In fact, actually, there's a couch out there that is. I think it's one of the artists, but he doesn't know about it.
It's
But
a
yeah,
display.
there's times I've gone out there.
He's
and,
gonna
take
know
a
about it
nap.
now.
Yeah, I'll take a quick nap.
That's
Someone's
So-
installation you're sleeping on.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well,
That
you
actually,
saw me on
that
it.
happened. I was at the mattress factory. Somebody
Oh, I
was
love
sitting
it.
on the art upstairs in one of those exhibits. I'm like pissed. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? This is art. So I go down to complain, and she's just like, oh no, that's okay. And I'm like, what do you mean that's okay? This is
What
someone's
kind of
art.
art gallery is this
Yeah,
where you
I'm
can
like-
touch things?
She's like, he's
Yeah,
part of
right?
the art too. He's
Yeah.
supposed to be there. He is the installation.
he's been there for
Yes.
a week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's awful. So check these guys out. They are going to be at Heavy Metal Monessen 3, April 23rd at the Monessen City Park Amphitheater with a lot of great bands such as Claymore, Talion, Only Fish, Only
Great
Flesh.
guys.
Wow.
Only
Fish.
It does look like only fish from here.
It does,
Smells
yeah.
like fish, but tastes like metal.
Yeah, woo! So lots of great bands. Don't forget, April 8th at Dave & Buster's, we have Comedians for Cancer with Matt Light, who was rated Best Comedian in Pittsburgh 2 years in a row. That's going to benefit the Testicular Cancer Society. So check all of that out and more. Don't forget, don't forget the day after Easter, we have Talion on for another River Talk Extra. Don't forget, we have next week all of our shows back in the lineup. Matt Geiks Got Game will be back Friday morning here on riversedgepgh.com. Check us out on Facebook, Rivers Edge PGH, on Twitter at Rivers Edge PGH, and all of the other social medias. Stay tuned, always 24 hours a day, for the Pittsburgh's voice in local music, riversedgepgh.com.
Hi, I'm Zaheen Hussein, Millvale Sustainability Coordinator, inviting you to grow your garden at Millvale May Days. Visit our town, catch the great deals at local businesses, win prizes, and collect all kinds of seed to grow your garden for free. Mark your calendar for May 6th and 7th here in Millvale. Follow the Business Association of Millvale on Facebook and Twitter at BAM15209 for more details.